So if you were to take all the admirals from the world of One Piece and turn them into pirates, which one of them would be able to ascend to the Yonko status? And shout outs to Scorter for sending me this message with this question because I think it's a really good one. With that being said though, I do think it's a very simple explanation because a lot of these dudes just will not become emperors. And some people might think that they're strong enough that they should be able to become an emperor if they're like on the seas with no limits as a pirate, right? But being an emperor is more than just your strength, it also comes down to your willpower, aka your haki as well. And this is the part that a lot of people miss. Because when you look at any of the emperors that do exist in One Piece, they are the pinnacle of like authority in their own territories. They answer to absolutely nobody, that's why they're emperors. Meanwhile, the admirals answer to the Gorosei. And while you can say of course they'll listen to the Gorosei, they do work for them after all. You gotta keep in mind that admirals and vice admirals do exist that don't listen to them dudes. Which, spoiler alert, Garp would have the potential to become a Yonko himself. Not just because of the strength, but because he has the willpower to like do what he wants to do and not listen to other people. But when it comes to the other admiral, we'll start from like the top with the Kainu and we'll work all the way down to the newer people that came in. And the Kainu is a dude that's definitely gonna work his way up to the Yonko status. And it's not because he can fight against emperors like this because Whitebeard was out of his prime. But honestly, it's because he can get his ass beat like this and still get back up. Because you have to keep in mind, when it comes to being a Yonko, it's how you like persevere through the world of piracy and like ascend to the top. Luffy did not start the series with like a Yonko level potential. He had to work his way up to that. He had to find people that could help him get to there. And along the way, he's gotten beaten and locked up several times. But since Luffy's willpower is great enough that he can like keep going into these fights and getting back up and keep pushing himself, he eventually became an emperor. So just like with Akainu, he has the same type of mentality that Luffy has that will keep him going in situations where he doesn't have the strength to keep moving. He has the willpower to keep getting up versus people like Whitebeard because he really believes in what it is that he believes in. There's a reason why this man became the fleet admiral. So first admiral on the list, Yonko. After him, we got Kuzan, and this dude is definitely not going to become an emperor. You'll have like a lot of people try to say, well, he could be an emperor because if Sakazuki can, why can't he? And the reason comes back down to willpower. He's known for lazy justice. He's known for not like putting his foot down on certain things. Him stepping up to fight Akainu was like the first time he stepped up to fight for something he truly believed in this series. And the second time he does that, he just becomes a pirate. So when it comes to Kuzan, we've already seen this kind of play out that if he were a pirate, could he become a Yonko? The answer would be no, because he is not a Yonko as a pirate. He's a commander to another Yonko. That's where Kuzan is. So you can say all you want that he's like close in strength to Akainu, even though he lost that battle. But as I already pointed out earlier, willpower matters way more than just like raw physical strength. So him being close to Akainu is not going to put him at that same level if his willpower is not going to be there too. And for the anime only people, once you see later on in Egghead, you'll see. You'll see. Next up is Kizaru, and we all can just like write a giant no on that one because he'll never be an emperor. Like I said earlier, if you want to be like a Yonko, you would need the willpower to push yourself to get to that height. Somebody that follows orders, especially following orders that they do not want to follow, is probably not going to reach that level. And I know, yeah, it is his job to like listen to the Gorosei and do what it is that they tell him to do. But again, a Yonko ain't listening to nobody. If you gave Kizaru Garp's personality, for example, and then told him to kill Vegapunk, do you think that person is killing Vegapunk? No. Because Garp does what he wants and he'll even tell off celestial dragons. He don't care. So like being a Marine, that being your job, that's not an excuse. Kizaru has already showcased that when it comes to him being under pressure, he will fold to authority, which a Yonko will never do. Next up, we got Green Bull, and I'm gonna say a fat no on this one. Cause ain't no Yonko a punk. What Yonko you know gonna pull up on somebody that's a soft target to get they win? Nah, they fighting. Like Kaido unchained Big Mom so that he can fight Big Mom with the fair 1v1. Meanwhile, Green Bull waited for Kaido to be knocked off of his perch before he went over to Wano because he didn't want no smoke. A Yonko is not ducking the smoke. Get him out of here. And last on this list was Fujitora, and to a lot of people's surprise, I do think he would be a Yonko. Obviously, he has ridiculous power, just like all other admirals, but unlike majority of the other admirals, he'll actually like do what it is that he wants to do. You give him an order he don't agree with, he'll fight back and say, I'm not doing that. You as an institution of the Marines do something that he doesn't agree with, he'll tell you to your face that he doesn't agree with it and you should probably stop. And it's this strength of character that if he were a pirate, his willpower, aka Haki, would be through the roof and he would definitely be a Yonko to like assert what it is that he wants to do in this world. And I'm gonna just have to be honest with y'all, I really do think that Fujitora's like second strongest admiral. People that think that Kuzan or like No. This dude controls gravity. Dofi's getting heated at this dude doing something like that, like, yo, he reckless as freak. Meanwhile, Fujitori's like, oh, I mean, that was just a little warm-up type thing. It ain't nothing special. If him dropping meteors is a little warm-up, what do you think he is doing when he gets serious? Not only is he Yonko level, I think he is one of the strongest admirals right behind Akainen. And while I did forget about Sengoku, he would obviously be a Yonko because 1, fleet admiral, and 2, he's a conqueror. He knows what it's like to be in those positions of power. He knows what it's like to like rule and like give orders to a bunch of other people. As far as the Marines go, Sengoku and Akainu were basically the Yonko of the Navy. So that's where I think everybody would be if they ended up becoming pirates and then tried to become Yonko. Majority of them would just not even try to get that title because it's not like in their spirit to want to do so. But then we would still have 4 emperors because I think Sakazuki, Fujitora, Garp, and Sengoku would fill those slots perfectly.